Now it's time to incorporate the texture of stamping on our tile. But before we do that, let's get our tile out of our Ziploc bag. Expect your Ziploc bag to be clinging to your tile a little bit, which is good. That's what we want. That will make sure our tile is healthy and plastic. If you have the fallout piece intact from your piercing, that's great. Still keep it if possible. We'll try to work with that soon. Just be patient with that. But in the meantime, my tile is soft and healthy and plastic, not wimpy and bendy. It still has, kind of a stiffness to it, but the surface is healthy, which is good. I still have my scrap clay in a separate bag. If you're able to make dents with your thumbs, as I'm doing right now, that's good. That means the clay is very healthy in an airtight, small Ziploc bag. And again, we'll get to that clay with later textures. But for right now, I'm just examining the 6 sections floating around my piercing, and I'm deciding where I want to do stamping. And I think I want to do a sample of stamping in the top right section of my tile. Feel free to do that anywhere on your tile. You pick the section to do stamping inside of. I'm going to use, I'm looking at some of the previous materials I stamped with in another video. I've got a bottle cap I can work with, a glue stick cap that gets like a flower shape. I can use an old bracelet with a chain on it, a padlock key. Use an object you've stamped with before if you prefer. And so I'm going to use the key that I've used in the past, or try something new. It's up to you. I like the result I get with this key, and I can approach using this key a couple different ways. I can press it into the clay, and I get an interesting texture. Or let me work on the back of my tile here. I can kind of have the key stand upright and press that into the tile, but it's almost more like poking into the tile. And so when you poke the object, you get one result. In my case, when I lay the object down, it's not upright. I'm getting more of an pressing effect. So I'm pressing versus poking, and when you press the key, in my case, you get an interesting result. Now I'm holding this up to the camera so you can see what I'm doing, and I have my hand kind of bracing the back of the tile. You should do your stamping with your tile directly on the tabletop. So do as I say, not as I do. I do not recommend that you hold your tile up while stamping. It's kind of dangerous, and it could cause the tile to snap in two. We don't want that. Now, you can always kind of soften up the surface of your tile if needed with a damp sponge. Notice that I squeezed out all the water from the sponge. It's almost a dry sponge, basically. And just kind of move the sponge around in a circular motion, or you can kind of do a scrubbing technique from side to side, top to bottom, whatever. But just get the surface of the tile a little softer to your liking, and then that makes your clay more stampable. Clay that's too dry will block the object you wish to stamp with, as some of you may have learned the hard way on your last assignment. In any case, I'm creating a pattern where I fill in half of one section, and I can switch to a second object if I want. Maybe I'll try this glue stick and see how that looks. So you're welcome to use 2 different stamps or 3 in one section, or one object only in the section. It's up to you. And again, you don't have to do stamping specifically in the top right corner as I'm doing. You could do stamping on the bottom left corner of your tile. You can pick another section. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to continue stamping with these 2 items, and we'll see how it looks.